Happening today, a family caught in the middle of an FBI wrong house raid could learn whether their case will go to trial. Atlanta News First chief investigative reporter Brendan Keefe told you last June that the house of Trina Martin and Toy Cleat was wrongly raided by the FBI in 2017. They sued the federal government, accusing FBI agents of assault and battery, false arrest, and other violations. A lower court dismissed the lawsuit, giving the FBI immunity from wrong house raids. But because of their fight for justice, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled victims like the Martins can sue the federal government for wrong house raids nationwide, reviving the Martins' lawsuit and sending the case back down to lower courts.
This victory with the Supreme Court actually inspires others to use their voice, to understand that your voice matters. And in order to get change, you have to use your voice.
In 2017, the SWAT team failed to check the address on the mailbox or even the street name on the sign out front. The target house was a block away on another street. Our full investigation on that raid is on AtlantaNewsFirst.com under the ANF Investigates tab.